Alright, we're going to do a tier list of the battle conditions here. Number 1, violence of action. I fucking love it. It's so good. Just S tier. Right off the bat, violence of action. Love it. I'll lose this one. To uphill battle. Not great because, you're fighting uphill, you lose line of sight, and you lose movement speed, which is not ideal. So I'm going to put it at a C tier. Like, I don't really mind having it, but I'd rather not, This one is high ground, I believe. Yeah, high ground. This is like the reverse of that. Basically, you get the benefits that the Germans got. The Germans got the benefits that you got. Or they fucking get the disadvantage you got. So I'm going to put that at a B tier, just because it's slightly better, but it still isn't much. The vision is nice, though. Rainy day. Rainy day I'm going to put at B tier because it affects both factions. Both factions have less view distance and more jam chance. So it's pretty neutral. Put that in B. Open warfare. Best fucking battle condition in the game. Tell me other. I don't even care. In fact, it's so good, I'm going to put violence of action behind it. I love this battle condition. It's my favorite. It is the best one in the game, in my opinion. So, yeah, there's that. Fucking barrage. Very, very good, actually. Blows things up. I'm going to put it in A tier. Also, the chance you might get blown up, which is why it's not an S tier, but it's still pretty good. That one's so fucking dark. I'm going to have to look at this. So, right. Yeah, replacements. Replacements is good. You get an extra dude. You get an extra dude, If somebody dies, you get them back pretty much. I'll put that in E tier. Dug in. This might be controversial, but I rather like dug in. I'm going to put it in A tier. Because, yes, the Germans get more sandbags and all that jazz, but after you kill the Germans and they leave the sandbags, then you get them. There's additional fortifications on the map. Those fortifications don't have a fucking flag stuck to them. Anybody can use them. That just means there's going to be more there, and you get to use them too. So I'm going to put in A tier. Which one was this? Pinch maneuver. Pinch maneuver is... It's alright. Oh, it's the reverse of dug in. Yeah, so it's minus 10% for fortifications. I don't really like it, because that means there's less cover on the map for you to use, so I'm going to put it in D tier, actually. Warm meal, another fucking S rank, fucking beautiful. Can't go wrong with another 10 XP. In fact, I'm going to move violence of action down to A tier, just because it affects both sides, where these are purely just boons. So does open warfare, but I just fucking love open warfare. Violence of action can stay in S tier. It's good. It's quality. I like it. I enjoy it. I like that it's in the game. I think this is K rations, which is the reverse of warm meal. Basically, you have minus 10 health. I just like it. It just means you're more likely to get one shot, so I'm gonna put it in E tier, honestly. Cold day. Minus 5 morale generation. Doesn't really matter. All too bad. So I'm gonna put it in C tier just because it is a negative effect. Heavy clouds. Neither side gets support, like airplane support. I'm gonna put that in C tier too, just because it's neutral. Surprise attack. Another great one. Very good to have. I'm gonna put it in A tier. Surprise attack. Very nice. Very nice to have surprise attack. Stray cat. You get a steward helping you out at the start. That's another A tier. That's pretty good to have that. But I'm going to put it in B tier, actually, because if you retreat or you fail, that second run through, it doesn't come back. It's only for your first run through. So if you beat the mission, it's good. But if not, it's just an empty thing. Day of defeat, minus 5 morale for the Germans. I'm putting it in C tier just because it never really does anything from what I've noticed. Hail Mary, plus 15 to map length. It's alright. because it spreads out the Germans but gives you more map to work through. So we'll put it comfortably in B tier. What is this one? Tactical opportunity. It just makes the field shorter. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. That's an A tier. Eastern Front veterans, +5 combat skill to the Germans. This one is not fun. This one is not fun. It just makes the Germans better at killing you, which you don't want. That's not ideal. I respect that it's in the game, of course, but like you know what I'm talking about. Eastern Front veterans, failing industry, -10% for the Germans to have fucking extra equipment. I never really noticed that it does anything, so I'm just gonna put it in D. New gear, -20% jam chance. I mean, it's a positive effect, but you never really notice it, so I'm putting it in B. Not well rested. Morale's, like, you get an officer, morale's pretty much sorted, so I'm gonna put it in C tier. Just because it doesn't affect all too much. Known ground, +5 movement speed, can't go wrong with that. Another C tier. Hasty prep. Okay, so hasty prep basically does what it does. What surprise attack does for you, it does for the Germans. You have -10% to your, like, everything. Every action that you guys do, they do 10% slower, like the reaction time. For this reason, it's an F tier. It's my personal hatred. I have a vendetta against this fucking battle condition. I hate it. That's the worst. I love that it's in the game, but I despise it on a deep and personal level. Reinforcements, +15% Germans, so that's like 3 to 4 to 5 extra Germans. Put it in B tier. Because, like, while there's more enemies, if your squad's pretty kitted, you can just fucking wipe them out. It's just extra XP. That one's dark. What is that one? Scattered positions, the reverse, -15% enemies. It's only fair to put it next to that one. Air superiority, Germans have a 20% chance to have their calls be canceled. It doesn't, like, it's very situational. Last of the Luftwaffe, if Germans call a fucking airplane on you, then there's a 20% chance it'll come back for another run, but my entire playtime, which is like 120 hours, never happened, so I'm going to put it in E tier. On-site acquisition, you just get a German gun at the start. Whoop-de-doo, put that in C tier, just because it's kind of cool, I guess. Pinup, I don't know why this exists, really. It's just here's 100 XP, good job, Commander. Because it's not outright bad, but I feel like it just takes up a battle condition slot. It could be something more interesting. It's not as bad as fucking hasty prep, though, so I guess I'll just put it in E tier. Because I just don't understand it. I just don't understand why it is in the game. Deadly Overwatch with the fucking 88s. Gotta let the Germans have their toys. Motorized Jeep, you start with a Jeep. Jeep's good. Jeep is good. I'd rather have the Jeep than the Stray Cat, just because it seems to react quicker, and it shoots a bigger Chunga. Eyes in the sky. It's like cool. Know where the Germans are. It's helpful. Iron Wall, pat guns can be deadly, but if you have a sniper or somebody fast, you can just run up to them. So I'll put it in D tier. What is that one? What's after Iron Wall? Rough Times, -20% to weapon burst length. I don't really notice it doing too much, so I'm just gonna stick it in E tier. Doesn't really affect all too much. Fresh supply +10% to weapon burst length. Again, I don't really notice it doing much, so we're going to put it in E tier. Yeah, I want to move Eastern Front veterans up, just because, like, it does have a noticeable effect on the game. I'll move everything that I just don't like but does have a good effect on the game up to D tier. Whereas these ones just kind of I don't really see them doing all too much. Their superiority down for the same reasons. Industrialism. If you have a fucking supply crate, cool. You get 1 to 3 extra things. If you don't, then you literally will never know that this is even here. So I'm gonna put it in E tier. Voluntold. I think it's -5 morale, but +1 XP for 1 dude in your squad. I'll put that down here. Now I'm putting it in D tier just because like I like that it's in the game because it's kind of funny. But like maybe if it applied to the whole squad, it would be different. I would put it up higher. But since it's just 1 dude, it's like, oh yeah. All right. Standardization. Standardization. I like that it's here, but I wish that it worked a little differently in one way. I'm gonna put it in C tier. I wish that it worked a little bit differently, as in it could be a malice, because if you have a cool German gun, it'll take that away. But there's no like potential positive effect for it. What I think would be cool is, say you get this when you have a fresh squad of new dudes. Instead of them starting with Springfields, they could start with Garands, because like the army is like, oh shit, this squad of boys right here that's about to go into battle, they have outdated equipment. Let's standardize them and give them some Garands. See what I'm saying? Like that would make it so it's like, oh no, my gunner just lost his MG42, but at least all of my riflemen don't have fucking Springfields anymore. You know, I think that would be a good way to, like, if you were gonna mess with that one, that's how I would do it. Wire cutters. You know, if you have an engineer in your squad, doesn't really matter because you can do it anyway. But if you don't, it's pretty good. So I'm gonna put it in B tier. I'm gonna put it in A tier because it's nice to have. That one's fucking dark. What's after wire cutters? Where are you? Oh, good coffee. Yeah, plus to morale and movement speed. Can't really go wrong with that. I'll put that in A tier. It's a nice one. Forced march. I hate to see it. I get sad every time I get this one because it's minus movement speed and morale. So it's just not great. UXOs can work both for you and against you, which I like. I like battle cards that do that. We'll put it in B tier. Achtung Meinen, everybody's favorite battle card. It's if you have a French informant, it's a non-threat, but if you don't, it's fucking deadly. For that reason, I think it deserves a spot in S tier, just because of how infamous it is at this point. I think this is old maps. Old maps and new maps, I never noticed them having an effect, so I'm going to put them both in E tier. Like that, it's just minus or plus 10% to the accuracy of bombs. Like, okay, cool. Sickness, minus 10 temporary HP, so you can just get it back. It's not the worst. I'm gonna put it in E. It's good to have though. It's not good to have, but it's good to have in the game. So it's C tier. Panzer Grenadiers. Every enemy you kill, 1% chance to spawn a half track. I like the way this is implemented with the 1% thing. Very cool. You can either get fucked or not. I like it. I'm gonna put it in A tier. Gerhardt's Pressure. Easy motherfucking S tier. Like, cause I don't think I've ever like beaten a mission in more than 20 minutes. So maybe like when I first started playing, but now that I know the game, typically they're like sub 15. So that's just like free double XP. Can't complain about that. Earned Trust. If you're like currently on like a win streak where you're not losing anybody, and then you're fucking golden. But if not, and you start losing people, then you're just gonna panic like a motherfucker. So put that in S tier just because I really like it. Yeah, here's the final tier list. Kadoosh.